Good afternoon, COVIDians. Very distressing times we're living in. Times when we are, I'm going to use the word ruled by a Prime Minister who once said this. Just take a second to look, if you will. Yeah. Boris Johnson, and the words, in case there was any problem actually seeing them on the screen. It is feeble for a man to be reluctant or unable to take control of his woman. His woman. I wonder if Carrie understands that she's Boris's woman, and that effectively his, well, used in that sentence, means he owns her. He owns her. I thought that kind of went out with the Victorian era. I thought that kind of went out with when women got the vote. I thought that sort of went out with when we passed beyond being cavemen, yeah? But apparently, Mr. Johnson, posh boy there, thinks you have to control your woman. Control. Notice that. Control your woman. Like the police were controlling those women at Clapham Common. Let's look at a few others, shall we? Well, just moving forwards rather than backwards. I think this is an ideal symbol for what the Tory party are voting on today, whether or not we should extend police powers, particularly in the light of peaceful protests and demonstrations. Perhaps we should even limit noise caused by them. Yeah, this is, I think, the new... Well, look at what happens when the establishment control our lives. Yeah, we got a couple of new symbols here for you, and I do hope that you not only see them, but I hope that you appreciate them. They're the new symbols, really. Yeah, we have the Labour Party Tory light, and of course a favoured image, the Huck and Cox, the hooked cross for the Nazis. Well, the Tories, I need to say, sorry. Correction, the Tories. A new symbol for them. Yep. And Peter Stefanik says on Monday, Boris Johnson's government will rush in the policing bill. They'll rush it through the Commons. It contains some of the most draconian crackdowns on the right to peaceful protest any of us have seen in our lifetime. I certainly don't think I've seen anything like it. It is frightening, in all honesty. It is absolutely frightening. Somebody very sensibly, this was Mark Adkins, commented, when legal avenues for political protest are restricted, people inevitably turn to illegal demos, riots, and eventually violence. The Tories' attempts to reduce our right to protest peacefully will make us all less safe. I agree with that, don't you? I think that's a very reasonable statement. I think the right to peaceful protest, I think that's really true, but obviously they don't. Another one from Tommy Robinson Exposed. Council Estate Voices, democracy under threat. The Tories are banning peaceful protests. And look who it is. Pretty Politti. Pretty Politti. The person who would probably, given half a chance, be detaining asylum seekers in old cross-channel ferries like prison hulks in Dickens' Great Expectations, from which the criminal Magwitch escapes and finds our hero Pip on the Essex marshes. There you go, the lady behind possible prison hulks. Do you think we're just getting a tiny tiny little bit towards a dystopian society? Do you think rather more than just a dystopian society? Do you think we're living under fascism? You see, I do. I think we're living under fascism. And I'm sure the fascists will extend the rights and the duties of the police even further to ban protest, to ban governing, or to ban gatherings. Not only that. Here's an interesting thing that and this is Howard Beckett who says this. Police and crime bill allows for gypsy and traveller vehicles to be seized. 3 months jail or £2,500 fine for a nomadic life without a traveller's passport. Now, to be a traveller, you need a traveller's passport. Yeah, you do. You've got to have one. Banning of disruptive protests, up to 10 years in jail for damaging a statue. Apparently it was the police were told when there was protest around the statue of Churchill, protect Churchill, protect Churchill. Now, I'm not in favour of anybody damaging statues as part of a protest. I'm not in favour of that, yeah. But I do think protecting people is rather more important than protecting statues, even of Churchill. Another one, please, I do want you to look at, and this is really quite important. I have spoken about this before, but Howard Beckett here reminds me of something that was said about the bill when it was first kind of even talked about. Yep. This is a case of what we would call anti-Ziganism. Now, most of you may, well, I don't know how many of you have heard the word anti-Ziganism or Ziganism. Believe it or not, well, it's probably not hard to believe, the Nazis were anti-Ziganist. Yep, they rounded up the Roma and the Sinti, those with no fixed lifestyle, those with no fixed abode, those with a kind of, wandering lifestyle, people who have been in society, in Europe, in the world for thousands of years, yeah? Think how far back the Romani culture goes. It goes back into the roots of the Hindu Vedas, India. You know, it's long, it's beautiful, it's massive, but now the Tories are cracking down. Anti-Ziganism, it means anti-gypsy, anti-traveller. Yeah, I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate it because, indeed, that's where the Nazis kicked off. Now, I've been listening to some lectures produced on a website by Gresham College. I don't know if they're a religious college or what, but one of the guys speaking on there has been saying that one of the most kind of powerful things by which we can date things now, one of the kind of standards that we can now use to say that something is truly evil, rather than perhaps in the past we would say that something was truly good and helpful and worthy and true and honest, and we would, apparently more in the past than now, perhaps we would mention Jesus Christ and the life that he lived amongst us. This is not a plea for Christian converts, please. But this guy said on a lecture to Gresham College that the kind of marker now has kind of swung the other way. The marker for a standard of absolute evil has become Adolf Hitler. The guy said, look at all the programs made about him. Look at how history talks about him. Now, I think that's a really important point. Everybody always goes, oh, well, everyone compares everything to the Nazis in the end, don't they? And they'll have a term for it. And it's always like, oh, you know, it's meaningless if you compare it to the Nazis all the time. What the Nazis did, it's meaningless, isn't it? Meaningless, yeah? Well, the Nazis went after and arrested. And she thinks I'm talking to her about things. The Nazis went off and arrested and killed the Gypsies, the Roma, the Sinti. There is a tale of them taking all of the Roma, Gypsy and Sinti children away in the camp at Auschwitz, and of parents running after these trucks as though the children had been led away by some kind of Pied Piper. Roma, Sinti, decent people, travellers, yeah? Tories really want to crack down on them with their traveller passport, don't they, yeah? We are walking eyes wide shut, I'll use Kubrick's phrase. We are walking eyes wide shut into fascism. That's what we're doing. We're walking into fascism, yeah? Won't be long now before your human rights will be gone. Won't be long now before your right to a trial by jury is gone. Won't be long now before you the right to habeas corpus, guilty until innocent until proven guilty. Get that right, innocent until proven guilty. Won't be long before habeas corpus is gone. Probably won't be long before the police don't even have to say you don't have a right to have anyone know that you were detained. Yeah, you don't even have that right. It'll go, I promise. Wake up, people. Just wake up. Please, God, wake up. This is frightening. Wake up. Stop with all the Harry and Meghan stuff. Stop with all the distraction stuff. Stop with, oh, it's Cheltenham. Stop with all of that, yeah? This is frightening. The government are attacking our civil liberties. And sadly, I think that bill will be passed. Let's see. Take care, Covidians. Bye.